For commencement of the proceedings.
Honorable Shri Justice Alok Arade, Acting Chief Justice, High Court of Karnataka, Company Judges, Bengaluru, Dharwad and Kalburgi benches, Shri Prabhuling Navadi, Learned Advocate General, Shri M.B. Nargund, Additional Solicitor General of India, Shri B.R. Chandramouli, Vice Chairman and colleague members of the Karnataka State Bar Council, Shri Shanti Bhushan, Venkatesh Karekal, Sudhir Singh, Assistant Solicitor General, Shri R. Subramanya, Dhyan Chinnappa, Prasanna Deshpande, Shri Vidyavati Tusetter, Arun Cham, and Y.S. Vijay Kumar, Learned Additional Advocate Generals, Shri Kiran S. Kevali, and Shri V.S. Hegde, State Public Prosecutors, Shri Vivek Reddy, President, Shri T.G. Ravi, Secretary, Shri Harish, Treasurer of Advocate Association, Bengaluru, Learned Senior Counsel, President, Women Federation, Learned Registrar and Judicial Officers, family members of the Mr. Justice P. Krishna Bhat, learned members of the legal fraternity, ladies and gentlemen. We are assembled here to bid an affectionate farewell on behalf of the Karnataka State Bar Council and entire legal fraternity of the state on the occasion of retirement of Honorable Mr. Justice P. Krishna Bhat. You were born on 8th August 1960 at Vittal Padanuru village of Dakshin Kannada district. Late Srimati P. N. Parameswari Amma and late Sri P. Narayan Bhat are your proud parents. You have completed your graduation in science from St. Aloysius College, Bengaluru in 1988. You have obtained law degree from Law School, Banaras Hindu University. On completion of legal education, you got yourself enrolled with the Karnataka State Bar Council in the year 1986. You started your initial practice in district courts at Mangalore under N. Srinivasa Rao. During year 1989, you have shifted your practice to the High Court of Karnataka, where you have handled a variety of cases on the writ side, civil appeals, revision petitions, labor, and matters of before the KAT and this court also. You were appointed as a district and session judge in 1998. During your practice in the High Court, you had filed public interest litigation challenging the Cognitrix Power Project at Padudri and Nagarjuna Power Project near Mangalore, involving acquisition of vast area of agricultural land for the purpose of thermal power plants. You have shown incredible credit for canvassing environment impact assessment and also providing public hearing to the affected parties before issuing project clearance, which became a mandatory requirement under the law, which showed your initiative as a lawyer, which has helped in the protecting the environment of public and health at large. You have served the judiciary in all walks of life, as you served judiciary by serving as the additional district session judge, special judge Lokayukta cases, special judge for CBI cases, principal district and session judge at Bidar, Tumkur, Raichur, Belgaum, and Bengaluru rural district. You have served as an able administrator during your service as Registrar Judicial, Registrar Vigilance, Registrar General of High Court of Karnataka, and served as the Director of Karnataka Judicial Academy. You were elevated as the additional judge of this High Court on 21st May 2020 and took oath as a permanent judge on 26th September 2021. You are the perfect symbol of patience and hard working. You gained the confidence of members of the bar. You always made it a point to put a word of encouragement to junior members of the bar. Your knowledge, intelligence, experience as a judge are really significant and to be followed as a role model. You are happily married, Srimati Usha. Your son Dilip Krishna Bhat and daughter Kumari Deepti Krishna Bhat are software engineers. I once again offer on my behalf of, and also on behalf of the Karnataka State Bar Council and entire legal fraternity of the state, I heartfelt and affectionate farewell to you, sir. We wish you all the best in all your future endeavors and pray God to give good health and peace in your retired life. Jai Hind, Jai Karnataka.
My esteemed colleagues on the bench, Mr. Prabhulan K. Nawadi, Learned Advocate General, Mr. M.B. Nargun, Additional Solicitor General of India, Additional Advocate Generals, State Public Prosecutors, and other government advocates, Mr. Shanti Bhushan H., Assistant Solicitor General of India, and other central government advocates, Mr. Murtakpalli Kashinath, Chairman, Karnataka State Bar Council, and other members of the State Bar Council, Mr. Vivek Subba Reddy, President, Mr. T.G. Ravi, General Secretary, and other office bearers of the Advocates Association, Bengaluru, Registrar General, Registrar, and other officers of the registry of this court, learned judicial officers, learned senior advocates, and learned members of the bar, family members of Justice P. Krishna Bhat. Today, we have assembled here to bid a warm and affectionate farewell to my esteemed brother Justice P. Krishna Bhat, as he would be demitting the office on 7th of August 2022 on attaining the age of superannuation. Justice Krishna Bhat was born on 8th of August 1960. Thereafter, he did his schooling at his native place and graduated in science from St. Aloysius College, Mangalore, and thereafter went to Banaras Hindu University, Varanasi to study law. Justice Krishna Bhat was enrolled as an advocate in the year 1986 in Karnataka State Bar Council and started his initial practice in the district courts in Mangalore under Shri Nui Srinivas Rao, a doyen of the Mangalore Bar. In 1989, Justice Bhat shifted his practice to High Court of Karnataka and handled variety of cases before the High Court of Karnataka and the Karnataka Administrative Tribunal. During the days of his practice, he was very proactive and fought to protect environment and issues pertaining to public health. He had a lucrative practice and a good clientele. In 1998, Justice Krishna Bhat was directly selected to the cadre of district and session judge and served in various capacities like additional district and session judge, special judge for Lokayukt cases, special judge for CBI cases, principal district and session judge of Bidar, Tumkur, Raichur, Belgaum, and Bengaluru rural districts. He served on the administrative side as Registrar Judicial, Registrar Vigilance, and Registrar General of this court. He was also Director of Karnataka Judicial Academy. On 21st May 2020, Justice Krishna Bhat was elevated as Additional Judge of the High Court of Karnataka, and on 25th September 21, he was sworn in as a permanent judge. Justice Krishna Bhat has served in the district judiciary for more than 22 years. The rich experience as a judicial officer helped him in discharging the duties as judge of this court efficiently. Justice Krishna Bhat has served this institution with great devotion and dedication and has rendered a very distinguished service to the judiciary. During his tenure of 2 years and 2 months as judge of this court, he has delivered several landmark judgments which find place in reputed law journals. I would like to refer to two of them. In Vijay alias Vijendra, his lordship, while dealing with the defense of the accused on the ground of grave and sudden provocation, has held, and I quote, life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness is an entitlement and a right without which there cannot be a right to life for an individual, and shorn of the same will only be a creature existence. Thus viewed, extending the protective umbrella of grave and sudden provocation to the accused in the facts and circumstances of this case will have the effect of robbing the victim of her right to express her choice. In other words, defense of grave and sudden provocation shall not be available to an accused if the result of permitting such a defense is to dehumanize the person of victim, stultify her individual autonomy, agency, and dignity. In Yankampa and another, while he has given certain advice to trial judges trying heinous offences, and it has been held unless a judge trying a heinous offence does not administer a caution to himself, especially when his moral sense of justice is seriously disturbed, he is likely to fall into an error, inducing in him an instinctive reaction against a dispassionate judicial scrutiny of the facts and law. A judge is required to be dispassionate. It may be a tall order, nevertheless, it is and should be his first creed. It is difficult to remain uninfluenced by impressions, passions, inclinations, predilections, rights, currents, events, and even without what is commonly regarded as personal baggages to which human mind is a normal habitat. Justice Krishna Bhat has also contributed on the administrative side. He was a member of Computer and Technology Committee and Software Technicians Recruitment Committee. Justice Krishna Bhat has been very friendly and always willing to assist. He is a voracious reader and is a man of perfection. I am sure that even after his retirement, he will continue to serve the society in some way. Justice Krishna Bhat is happily married to Srimati Usha and is blessed with a son, Shri Dilip Krishna Bhat, and a daughter, Kumari Deepti Bhat, who are both software engineers. His daughter-in-law, Srimati Mansa Hegde Bhat, is also a software engineer. I, on my own behalf, as well as on behalf of sister and brother judges, as well as the entire legal fraternity, bid farewell to Justice P. Krishna Bhat and wish him and his family members peace and prosperity and also health and happiness for all the years to come.
My Lord, Honorable the Most Noble Acting Chief Justice, noble, revered, and esteemed justices on the bench, Honorable Chairman of Karnataka State Bar Council, Honorable Additional Solicitor General of India, Honorable Advocate General, Honorable Assistant Solicitor Generals of India, Bangalore, Dharwad, and Kalburgi. Honorable Additional Advocate Generals, Bangalore, Dharwad, and Kalburgi. Honorable State Public Prosecutors, Government Advocates, High Court Government Leaders, Central Government Standing Councils, and Senior Panel Councils. Honorable President, Honorable General Secretary, Honorable Treasurer and other office bearers, and Governing Council members of Advocates Association, Bangalore, Honorable the President, Federation of Women Lawyers, Bangalore, Honorable Registrar General and his companion registrars, Honorable Judicial Officers of the District Judiciary, Officers of the Registry and staff of the High Court, distinguished Honorable Senior Advocates and members of the Bar, ladies and gentlemen. I entered the judiciary nearly a quarter of a century ago. Now the time has come for me to go to hang up my judicial gown. I do so with plenty of satisfaction. Satisfaction because I have led my judicial life on my own terms. Distractions of petitions and delicious name calling and misbranding notwithstanding. But then I did not come from privileged circumstances. My parents were agricultural landholders who did not have the benefit of formal schooling beyond middle school. They were well read in the ancient laws, but they spared no effort to give me the best education once I moved out of the portals of our local high school. They inculcated in me the values of dignity, self-respect, spirit of independence, and above all, virtues of integrity and learning. I eagerly and sincerely attempted to imbibe the same in my personal life and profession. My grandfather, who had never seen the inside of a school, except the one he helped establish, was a scholar in Sanskrit and Kannada, and my teachers at all stages have profoundly influenced me in shaping my personality. I earned my professional spurs at the feet of Colossus of a lawyer, Shri N. Srinivas Rao at Bengaluru. He is a man of great learning, taste in his language, and master of the art of persuasion. I owe a huge debt of gratitude to him. Another personage who has deeply influenced me in all the variegated sphere of life, not merely professional, is revered Sri M. N. Venkatachalaya, former Chief Justice of India. He has been favoring me with hundreds of hours of his precious time, filled with the delightful conversation with loads of wisdom on philosophy, economics, politics in the wider sense, literature and law, on all of which he is a master non-parallel. I must make a special mention of 3 outstanding judges to serve in this court, one a Chief Justice, who gave affections to me without being condescending or putting a price on the relationship. They are now in the Supreme Court, Honorable Mr. Justice Dinesh Maheshwari, Honorable Mr. Justice A.S. Bopanna, and Honorable Mrs. Justice B.V. Nagaratna. I can never thank them enough. I said I served the judiciary for nearly a quarter of a century. My entry to the judiciary was preceded by a career in the hallowed precincts of this court, including this court hall. I had a fair measure of exposure on all sides of law, including writs, but I had avoided criminal matters at the sagacious advice of my early mentor, Sri Srinivas Rao. I entered the district judiciary where bulk of the work is on the criminal side. For handling the same, I had no training, professional or institutional. Our very first institutional training was 1.5 years after I entered the judiciary, and by then, I was very nearly adept at handling the criminal matters. How did this happen? Just as the bar here, of which I have the distinction of being a life member, nurtured me generously when I entered the High Court bar during my formative years. Bar at all places wherever I was posted to work as a district judge, indulged, nurtured and pampered me with the utmost courtesy and consideration. And I owe a large debt to them for what I am today. I worked in the registry of this court for 4 years and for a significant period of the same as Registrar General. My period as Registrar General was marked by certain avoidable events like police charging on advocates, with each side pointing accusing fingers at the other, and some of the brethren jumping into the arena, ostensibly assuming certain roles, which was felt avoidable. It was a tumultuous situation. Certain measures like closing the front gate, gate number 2, for the public and advocates, and host of other measures had to be taken, which took some time for settling down. Honorable Chief Justice, one of the most elegant of men and judges, Justice Vikramjit Sen, felt that personages within and without would have conducted themselves in a more becoming manner. The whole period I worked as Registrar General was a challenging time for me, and I could not flinch from the task. In his reply to farewell address presented to him on 14/12/2012, referring to my discharge of duty, he said, Honorable Chief Justice said, I must record my sincere appreciation to the assistance given to me by entire registry of the High Court. Mr. P. Krishna Bhat, Registrar General, has given his utmost to his duties with indefatigable energy of mind and person against all odds and despite some criticism. I have found that his inputs were always tempered in the interest of the dispensation of justice throughout the state of Karnataka. Reluctantly, I have acceded to his request for a change in his duties. K. Somshekhar, the current Honorable Justice K. Somshekhar, was Registrar Vigilance. Mrs. K.S. Mudagal, the current Honorable Justice K.S. Mudagal, and R. Chandrasekhar, Shri C.M. Joshi, who we wish will walk on to the bench very soon, was the computer project coordinator, and all the staff members have worked hard and with honesty, never flinching from the long hours that the call of duty is demanded. With the characteristic understatement, Honorable the Chief Justice said, despite some criticism, it was much more. It was raucous fury and retribution. But details of same must wait for the morrow. Honorable Chief Justice S.S. Sodhi wrote of his time in Allahabad High Court in a delightfully frank manner in a book, The Other Side of Justice. If what Honorable the Chief Justice Sen referred to as despite some criticism in his elegant and impeccable Queen's English is translated into an accurate narrative, it would be either a revised edition of or the second volume to The Other Side of Justice, but then that should wait, as I said. I was part of the subordinate judiciary for a long time, for such a long time that I had had I continued being one for a couple of more months, Mr. Chairman, I would have had the good fortune of joining your ranks, for better or worse. That was not to be. Now I find certain coyness at the higher level, and it was felt necessary to re-Christian the manner of referring to subordinate courts in a manner at variance with the nomenclature found at Chapter 6 of the Constitution of India. I am not certain that all these similar measures have ensured to instill a sense of confidence, value of self-respect, and sense of independence among the members of subordinate judiciary. And without that, I suspect judges at the trial courts are left feeling these measures are bouts of indulgent condescension to purge one's vague feeling of guilt. Again, to refer back to the Honorable Chief Justice Sen, on a recent visit to a district outside Bengaluru, I was dismayed to find senior judicial officers waiting along the way just to show their respects and as a matter of protocol. This is destructive of the dignity and self-respect of judges and, more significantly, their image in the minds of the public. Judicial officers must not waste their time and energies on needless observance of punctilio. They should adhere to the advice of the Honorable Supreme Court of India as adopted by the full court of this court. References to his the reply to the welcome address. I have known of an instance of a judge of a high court who rose to become a chief justice of high court subsequently, addressing a letter to the chief justice of high court calling for action against a district judge, all because he was not received at the airport personally by him, and it is part of the records. Such vanities are destructive of judicial independence. Such judges render themselves unfit to hold any public position. It is another matter that High Court promptly shot down the request calling for action against the principal district judge. Now, I have a message from the sagacious advice of Honorable the Chief Justice Sen to our trial judges. You will be independent so long as you avoid doing excesses in the name of protocol. You will be independent if you undertake administration, including recruitment processes, in a fearless and independent manner, regardless of possible phone calls and slips past and inevitable possible reprisals. Excesses in protocols seen by me include abject obsequiousness and gifting costly articles. It came to my knowledge that one principal district judge procured a costly sari to present to the spouse of a dignitary from New Delhi who was on a private visit, with instructions not to wait on him, and to the embarrassment of all those present, the dignitary couple walked away without so much as looking at it. Every time when judges take eons to pronounce on a recusal application, whisper starts going around about the intention and integrity of the judge. Similarly, if judges are found frolicking in destination holiday places and in public places in questionable company, question is bound to arise as to his independence as a judge. If the progeny of the judges of the most superior court in the country call on the judicial officers at their residence with eager litigants in tow, with an attempt to pass slips and thereafter drop the name of their forbear with hints of protection, then there is a serious problem to the independence of the judiciary. Discussions about independence of judiciary and threat to the same abounds the air now. To my mind, threat to independence of judiciary is a myth. Independence of judiciary is realized by an individual judge remaining independent. How is that attained? It is only by the judge internalizing certain values and virtues. It is the judge who is a recluse, in the felicitous words of Sri S. Venkatramaya, former CJI, makes for independent judiciary. A judge acting judiciously has so many protections under the law. There cannot be any threat to independence of judiciary. There is a vague and lingering view that there is less threat to the independence of judiciary, written or oral, from without than within, in the manner petitions, complaints, calculated branding is handled internally. Another worrisome aspect is the not infrequently heard complaint that at crucial stages in their career, like period of probation, promotion, etc., judicial officers pass certain orders because they were told so. If such an allegation is established or such a perception prevails, judge is not independent and credibility is permanently dented. What then is the remedy? At the first blush, it may appear absurd and drastic. Judges, judicial officers, and such other high functionaries like Lokayukta, Upalokayukta, etc., should offer themselves for narco-analysis test with the simultaneous liability for similar test on persons named by the functionary concerned, if the functionary feels the complaint is false and motivated. Such situations have caused incalculable damage to credibility of the functionary in particular and institution at large. It goes without saying that a debate is required and safeguards should be crafted for preventing abuse of the process in this regard. My immediate family, consisting of wife, my son, my daughter, and my daughter-in-law, after she joined us, are pillars of strength through all these years of my service in the judiciary. There is a sense of relief now among them that I'll be no longer leaving for the court at 9 a.m. and returning home late in the evening. I cannot adequately express my sense of gratitude to them, and it would be artificial on my part to make any attempt in this regard. I lost my mother in 1988 and father in 1999. My late revered mother-in-law, a most gracious lady, and my father-in-law have been supportive of me and effectively filled the roles of parents for me. Similarly, my elder sister, my brother-in-law, my two brothers and sisters-in-law, and nephews and a niece and her husband have all been with me through thick and thin. The protocol branch of this court is manned by outstanding personnel led by eager, enthusiastic, and resourceful Sri T.N. Kanakaraj. In saying this, I have no fear of contradiction as I have watched the performance of the protocol branch as Registrar General of this court and also as a judge of this court. It's a matter of personal knowledge for me, having received deep appreciation for the performance of this branch from various Honorable the Chief Justice of India, Honorable Supreme Court judges, the Honorable judges from various high courts. I have named all the personnel who have been rendering excellent service. I am not going to recount their names. Were outstanding in their courtesy and in providing assistance to us in times of need. They deserve my special thanks. High Court Dispensary, which stood augmented during my time as Registrar General by including Emergency Cardiac Care Center, has been doing outstanding services from the days of Dr. Kashinath Dikshit and Dr. Triveni, and through the years and currently by Dr. Wahid Khan, Dr. Jayashila H. and Dr. Kumar and their hard-working team of paramedical staff. They are extremely courteous, pleasant, and caring. Suffice it to say that their very smiling presence is enough to alleviate most of our health issues. My family members and I are deeply indebted to them. I am extremely fortunate in having a dedicated personal staff, and I thank them for the assistance that was extended to me by all of them. My private secretaries, I have named them. I will not take your time. Have been always cordial to me. They deserve appreciation and I express my sincere thanks to all of them. I would be failing in my duty if I do not thank the personal staff at my home office, namely Srimati Shruti and Miss Hemalata. My gunmen, Mr. Mallikarjun Swami, and my security personnel have always been vigilant in taking care of my security and have rendered great service, for which I express thanks and appreciation. I am deeply indebted to you, the Honorable Chairman, Honorable President, Honorable Advocate General, and the Honorable Senior Advocates. Thank you very much.
I seek your lordship kind permission for concluding the proceedings. As directed by Honorable the Acting Chief Justice, there will be no sitting in the afternoon session at the principal bench, as well as benches at Dharwad and Kalburgi.